So when you build a data center, you need a bunch of resources, sited close to that data center. You need water for cooling and a source of electricity. And it turns out that, wind and solar don't really quite cut it for these big data centers that train big models, because the data center, the training consumes power like this all the time, but the sun isn't always shining, the wind isn't always blowing. And so you got to build nuclear reactors, which give you high capacity factor baseload. And Amazon literally bought, a data center with a nuclear plant right next to it, because that's what you got to do.
Jesus. How long does it take to build a nuclear reactor? Because this is the race, right? The race is, you're talking about 2020, people realizing this. Then you have to have the power to supply it. But how many years does it take to get an active nuclear reactor up and running?
It's an answer that depends. The Chinese are faster than us at building nuclear reactors, for example.
And that's part of the geopolitics of this too, right? When you look at U.S. versus China, what is bottlenecking each country, right? So the U.S. is bottlenecked increasingly by power, baseload power. China, because we've got export control measures in place, in part as a response to the scaling phenomenon that,
and as a result of the investigation we did.
That's right. Actually,
in part.
But China is bottlenecked by their access to the actual processors. They've got all the power they can eat because they've got much more infrastructure investment, but the chip side is weaker. So there's just sort of balancing act between the two sides.